Roger that.
Going here. All right, so we're back here live for the Frozen Rotors Grand Prix. Paul Veltum, Bill Strong, Doc Waldrop, Tiffany Alexander calling the race. 3 hours and 17 minutes, roughly, remain in the race. And right now it's JSK Racing out front, TRM Motorsports in second, Spartan Racing in third, Landshark in fourth, and Stinky Rat Trap in fifth. On board with ludicrous speed right now as they're working their way around the racetrack. Got another car off in turn 3, says the tower. Started the race at 8:30 this morning, so we're going to be checkers at 5:30. Another 8-hour race tomorrow. Weather was pretty nasty out there. Had a lot of snow and had some rain. Looks like it's beginning to clear now. But, yeah. Ludicrous speed, been pretty solid. They were really strong earlier in the dry, but it began raining around about 15 to 20 minutes after the start of the race. The rain began to fall. Motorcraft Racing was working their way up through the standings and found themselves in the gravel around 11 o'clock. Premium Dudes had to stop for passing under yellow penalty around 11:30, got back out, and they're up in 6th right now. Cranky Acres Racing was in 3rd and had to bring the car into the pits after they made contact with the wall. And the heavy snow.
Cameron Low Farm Racing right now, the 241.
Okay. And
they've got their car came just in. They've got some dirt all over the back tires, like the guy got off track a little bit. So it looks like they're going to change a tire on the left rear.
So the heavy snow began to fall around 2:45. Okay.
It's been a weather race
but it looks
almost
like
the whole time.
Yeah, it looks like it hasn't really accumulated. They're just having to deal with the fact that they've got this weather that they have to cope with.
Rain, sleet, and now snow. It's challenging.
Definitely challenging. It's, for some of these drivers, especially challenging. You know, there aren't too many racetracks that we go to that are this fast. This is one of the fastest racetracks on the calendar, and so to come out here and race at one of the fastest, longest racetracks on the calendar, and then to have to deal with these slippery conditions, not just rain but snow, which is another curveball for a lot of drivers, particularly nerve-wracking for them. But it's beginning to separate the field. JSK was leading this race earlier. TRM caught and passed them. And through the round of pit stops, the leads changed back in JSK's favor in their Nissan Maxima. Now up 1 minute and 33 seconds over TRM Motorsports in their BMW, that 318IS. We got Spartan Racing in 3rd. Again, the first top 4 cars. I mean, JSK is a C-class car, but 2nd, 3rd, 4th, all A-class cars. Stinky Rat Trap in 5th. Then comes Premium Dudes, TCB Motorsports, and then Ludicrous Speed, that we've been on board with those guys. And looks like Low Farm just waiting for them to get their driver plugged in and head out onto the racetrack. And unfortunately, you know, snow is something that we do have to account for. You know, we get it. We had it at Barber really bad last year. There's a waving yellow, though, as we go through 5 here. You can see a car stranded off on the right
Barber
side.
wasn't snowing during the race, though. We might have had some flurries, but I mean, it mostly stopped.
Sure.
I wanted to give a shout out. We haven't talked about them hardly at all today. Two Brothers Racing running in 10th place in that Mercedes.
Yeah. That's your top B class car. We're reaching the bottom of the hour again. Take a look at the running order by class. This is, of course, provided to us by Race Hero. You can go to racehero.io and see this information, or pick up their app in the App Store. Yeah, it doesn't cost you anything. So, looking at Class A, sponsored by DiscoveryParts.com, it's TRM Motorsports, Spartan Racing, and Landshark, your top 3. Down to
all right, Low Farm is now leaving pit lane with our camera in it.
Okay, Bill. I'm going through the running order right now. We'll get to that.
Sorry, it's difficult to hear you. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I know. Down to B class, it's Two Brothers Racing. Then it's GMW Factory Racing. Then it's Wasted Wages in 3rd. To C class, it's JSK Racing, Stinky Rat Trap, and Premium Dudes, your top 3. To D class, it's Dirty Guys, Limpy Screwdriver Racing, and Motor Crap. To EC, it's Anderson 41, Rusty Nuts, and Flying Thundercocks, whatever that is. And then, I don't know what that's some kind of a mistake there in the system. So and because there's more than 4 cars in EC, there will be a trophy awarded for the overall victory there. Oh, for the class victory, I should say, in EC. Yes. Better put. So that's where things stand there, according to Race Hero. We're out on track with the Low Farm. Sorry about the shakes there, guys. But we
I've had those in the morning, too.
Yeah, maybe it's just me. For all I know, it has nothing to do with the camera. Car off on driver's left. Heading through turn 1. You can see still using the wipers. Heading down that back stretch, which is crazy fast. And it's tricky, too. That turn 5 braking zone is just a little unusual. You're blowing in the mic again there, Doc.
Sorry.
Got that heavy breathing going on.
All right, so more information coming from the tower. We have another contact with the wall in turn 3. Oh, it's after turn 3. Okay. Post turn 3 wall impact. So, you know, and we saw that, I think it was a Looney Tunes car, the back end came around as they were making the exit of 3, getting on the power. The car just turned around, and there is a wall off to the right. You have to go a little ways, but there is a wall over there. And it will nose you to the right, of course, if the back end comes around and you're all 4 catch. And what else we got going on here we need to talk about? Well, it's the Frozen Rotors Winter Classic. And we appreciate them for sponsoring us this weekend. You can head out to their website. It's frozenrotors.com. They've got a lot more than just premium brake rotors that so many competitors, including my team, uses to make sure you can make it through these races. And they last a long time. Not just one race. A lot of teams use them for multiple races. And the good brake rotors make good brake pads last longer, too. And the brake pads aren't cheap either, so...
No, they aren't.
Brake pads are important. Yeah.
We just put a brand new set of PFC 08s in our car.
Yeah, that's a great
Took
brake pad.
advantage of the Discovery Parts discount.
Yep, you can get a discount also from Frozen Rotors, and they provide those same brake pads. So if you're a PFC08 user,
Wow, the
and a lot of people are.
318.
Yeah.
Front left impact.
Oh boy. I don't even see that on
In
here.
case you don't know, that is our second place car.
I'm headed down there right now. We'll find out what's going on. Dead air.
Yep, I'm working.
I'm not.
Sing if you want.
I'm having ice cream. Don't pit now.
I think like hot cocoa would be more important right now.
Yeah.
But we could all tell Bill that we're having hot cocoa and it's all warm and
Toasty.
toasty.
I have a coffee right here.
It's not as good as my coffee, though.
I don't know. So I just had lunch, and I know you guys really want to hear about that, but food or track food, that's one of the biggest things that we like about, other than the racing part of it, is the track food.
Oh,
and
Road America
is one of the best ever. Their brats are just brats or whatever they call them.
brats.
The best. 32 is now going out of pit lane. He was flying coming down here to pit out. Now he's getting talked to by the pit out person, inspected.
It's not just me. Yes.
Now he's headed out. What do you mean?
I know. Andrew's probably like, man, what is it with you premium dudes, guys? We may have carried speed. I may have carried speed a little too much at Brainerd. Maybe.
Through pit lane?
Yeah.
Did you get a finger shaken at you?
I was spoken to.
Okay.
At the time, I disagreed.
Yep, we are showing 318 not circulating. That is our second place car.
That's gonna shake things
Bob
up.
may not know because he's still standing by his trailer.
He doesn't have the broadcast on? What do these people do?
I don't know. You know, they're all, tire rack guys. They're just so concentrated on the tires right now. That made no sense. Sorry, it's the cold.
It's frozen your brain.
Everywhere.
It's frozen my computer all the way from there.
I don't think they know that something's happened.
Well, something's definitely happened.
They're going to be disappointed.
I mean, all this valuable information we put out.
$16. Okay.
Hello, Joe Hazel. He says hello over on our Facebook feed.
Oh, cool.
Little MR2 hadn't missed a beat today, has it?
Okay, that's in the company rules. You never, ever, ever say that. Now a wheel's going to fall off.
Bill's really superstitious. You got to be very careful what you say.
Oh, and I said it about an MR2 as well, so like a double finger shake.
Yeah. So one more and you get to report to to human relations.
Human resources, Doc.
Human resources, yeah. I knew that.
Yeah. I'm not allowed to do human relations anymore.
I was just setting you up, Bill.
I think I should be the new HR person. Then I could have speaking to all of you, and then I could get out of the HR conversations myself. I think this will work out well.
That's a conflict of interest.
I liked it, though. Conflict that works well for me.
You'd obviously do a better job than whoever's in there right now. Because Bill keeps coming back.
Man, the new guy is slinging them today. Wow.
I got to get caught back up.
You do. You're doing a great job. I came out. We were in the lead as usual at Brainerd, and I went down the pit lane. I went down too quick. I don't like to wait. One of the things I concentrate on is at the instant it's time to go, I leave. And it was just a short hop, and it wasn't that far, but it was far enough that I gathered too much speed, so I got down there. And
really? Did you get held for...
I didn't get held. He just said, hey,
watch your speed.
And I said, nah, I was good. And I went back and watched the video, and I was not good. So I found his email, and I emailed him, and I said, you know what? I apologize. I was wrong. You were right. And that's not going to happen again. I'll be more
way
careful.
to man up, Polly.
Wow.
Yeah.
Probably never had anybody ever do that.
Yeah. Well, I like to, when you're working pit row and stuff, I like the teams that come up to you later and go, hey, because at Barber, I was working pit out one time. This guy just sped right past me, and I'm like, what the hell, guy? And after his stint, he came up to me. He says, I'm sorry, I went for the brakes and I had none.
Oh, I think I remember you telling me that story. Yeah.
And Barber, the pit out is a little tricky. Not terrible, not like Daytona pit out, which is extremely tricky. But yeah, you got to pay attention going through there. So
The pit out or the pit in?
Pit out.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not tricky, but you do have to pay attention there.
Oh yeah.
You come in right into two. Yeah. The pit in can be really tricky because it's really narrow and it's downhill, and if you lose
that
your
sharp
on
turn.
course, yes, you've got a 90-degree left-hander on there, and so they're coming in because they've lost their brakes or some kind of mechanical that might be affecting that. It's more difficult to get the car into the hot pits.
Yep.
Without buying some Armco on the way. Tell me.
Yeah, that stuff's expensive too.
Yeah,
I've never had to pay any, but I've heard it's like $500 a section.
Yeah, and there's 3 sections. It's top, middle, and bottom.
Yeah.
Well, Doc, I'm looking at Race Hero, and it looks like Cone Crushers is in the pits along with TRM. They're down in 11th right now.
Yeah, Cone Crushers, we show them not circulating.
And I guess JSK put a lap on Spartan Racing. They're up by 2 laps right now. Landshark in 3rd. Stinky Rat, Trap, TCB, Ludicrous Speed in 7th. But if TRM is that badly hurt, they're going to move up to 6th. Premium Dude's back down to 9th right now.
It's bouncing all over the place.
Probably from those pit stops,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I wonder what the story is on Cone Crushers.
Well, we're at the bottom of the hour. It's as good a time as any to take a commercial break, and then we'll be back here in just a couple of minutes. Stay with us, everybody. Lots of racing yet to happen. Frozen rotors from Diversified Cryogenics deliver increased performance and a higher level of safety while significantly reducing braking system costs. Our proprietary 60-hour cryogenic process permanently and dramatically improves the usage life and stability of brake rotors, creating a distinct advantage in tensile strength, abrasive wear resistance, and rotor longevity. Frozen rotors, it's the cost-saving solution for better braking performance.
Are we in commercial? We just had an incident. Never mind.
Lifeline is a fire suppression company. We focus on innovation and leading the market in the fire safety category. What's important to us is that we keep drivers safe, that we keep teams safe, that we spare equipment. It's motorsport. It's a dangerous environment. We certainly have gas and oil and combustibles that we're carrying along in a very dynamic environment. Fire is not uncommon. It's our job to put out the fire, make sure our drivers walk away safe, and make sure we can keep doing it. Our market-leading product is a Novec based. It's a 3M Novec fire suppressant. And what really makes us special is the delivery system. This new 8865 3620 system puts that Novec, two separate systems, puts Novec in the cockpit, Novec in the engine bay in less than a second, immediately engulfing the area with a fire extinguishant. So by flooding the area that quickly, we're able to actually put out fires, save equipment, save our drivers. Obviously, that's the most important part. As we continue to develop, as we continue to push and innovate, we're really working hand in hand with both motorsports and military. So what does a Wayne Taylor race car that's going around the track at 180 miles an hour have to do with a personnel carrier? Very harsh environments, as we're at Sebring and this car is banging around, and the stresses on this fire system, again, to make this piece live, so that it's available, so that it will put out a fire when it's called upon.
Champ Car Endurance Series is sponsored by RVA Graphics and Wraps, a custom graphics shop that specializes in the design and production of the best quality made-to-order vehicle graphics. And by Lifeline. Lifeline uses the latest technology in motorsport fire suppression and extinguishing and is the leader of in-car fire safety systems using Novec and Triple F foam. And Willwood Disc Brakes. Willwood Engineering is a global leader and manufacturer of high-performance, original equipment disc brake solutions. And Cool Shirt Systems. Cool Shirt's personal cooling systems, vests, and garments offer comfort, safety, mobility, and durability when performance matters. And MAXXIS Tires. MAXXIS Tires International is committed to delivering high-performance, affordable tires to the world. And Frozen Rotors. Premium cryogenically treated brake pads and brake rotors by Diversified Cryogenics. And OMP Sport, one of the world's leading manufacturers of safety equipment and tuning accessories. And by Racing Radios, the leader in racing communications worldwide, providing quality and affordable communication systems for racers and fans alike. And DiscoveryParts.com, offering the best in auto safety racing apparel. All right, welcome back, everyone, to Road America on Champ Car Live. It is the Frozen Rotors Winter Classic, the Champ Car Endurance Series presented by RVA Graphics and Wraps. So where we're at right now, just a little under 3 hours remain in this 8-hour race. So it was Looney Tunes out in the early lead, and then the rain came. Motorcrap found itself stuck in the gravel. Looney Tunes went behind the wall with engine trouble. They're getting that engine changed out now. Premium Dudes was black flagged earlier as well, around 11 o'clock, 11:30 actually, for passing under yellow.
I don't know what's going on right now, Paulie, but Premium Dudes is dropping rapidly through the field.
Yeah, they must have a problem with that car now, because we noticed they were down just a little bit before we went to break, Doc, and now I don't even see them in the top 12. Cone Crushers looks like they're back out now. Crank Yankers was into the wall around 12:15, and unfortunately did more damage than what they originally thought as they came into the pits. They pulled a couple of those right side tires. Looked like they were just going to try and change tires, do a quick inspection, but then it was like, oh no, brake line, tie rod in, we need to take this behind the wall. So they've been behind the wall working on that car. Snow began to come in heavily, and that's probably the two dynamics that's been most influential in this race. Is that, for one thing, unlike a lot of the other race events that we go to, here we have had no full course cautions. We've had a lot of local yellows and a lot of cars that get stranded and had to have a lot of hot pulls, but no full course cautions. And that, on a big racetrack like this, is not playing into the hands of the teams that struggle sometimes to make those full 2-hour stints. What is playing into their hands, though, is the unusual weather that we're having here with snow. Actually, quite a bit of snow has been falling here. According to Bill Strong, it's blowing in, drifting. Although it's possible he's exaggerating a little bit. But I wouldn't want to throw any dispersions his way. But it is snowing, and it has been raining out there. So
you wouldn't want to, Paulie, because that's my job.
Oh, that's right. That's right. I don't want to take that away from the new guy, right? So it's been fun. One of the things that's been interesting to me is to see how well the MR2 is doing out here. We know, according to Bill anyway, and Troy, the thing is just trying to kill you even in the dry. So as well as they're doing with this car, we've been watching them the majority of the day. They've had one spin, got the car back out there, and they're doing well with that car. So they're up in 6th right now, and as Doc said earlier, premium dudes who have been kind of going up and down in that top 10, they've suddenly fallen off the radar. So
yeah, they're running in 8th place right now, so not too bad. But
there they are. I missed them. Okay. So
one of the things I've noticed is, like at AMP last year when it was cold and wet, a lot of teams had visibility problems out through their windshields, and I wonder if that's affecting a lot of cars out there.
Yeah, it could be. I know
it's certainly not affecting Ludicrous. The view out their car is fine.
True.
But that was the one thing, and we even had one of those heater kits out of I can't think of the name of the company out of Colorado, but it's an interior defogger kit like you see in your rear windows all the time.
Right.
And it helped a bit, but it doesn't go all the way across the windshield. It has 2 terminal strips on either side of the windshield. And boy, those fogged up. And it wasn't so bad during the race, but during caution flags, when cars were weaving, the A pillar was completely fogged in. So you really had to pay attention to cars that might be offline.
Right, and I know we had one of those in the premium dudes BMW, and that we still had to pit to pick up the Q-tip because it was still too much accumulation of fog. So those defog kits are helpful. I've used them in several cars, but they're not necessarily a guarantee.
No, it's just anything to help.
You see guys that are also using those blowers that'll blow air up onto the back of the windshield, and that seems to be pretty effective too for some people. But having that wand in the car is almost got to do it, just to make sure, especially if you have any history of issues with that.
Well, I like that one car out on the West Coast that had that windshield wiper on the interior of his car.
Oh, now that was just brilliant.
Yeah.
He had that windshield, and it was manually operated, so the driver would reach up there and
right.
Oh my gosh. Glad that wasn't too fast of a race car, because you would never have time to use that at a place like AMP.
No way. No way. I've got a death grip on the wheel and AMP.
I'm a little busy. I'm a little bit busy right now.
Yeah, I ain't letting go of nothing.
In the Ludicrous Speed
yes.
MR2 heading through the bus stop chicane that they put in. We run the motorcycle circuit out here, you might call it, at Road America. Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin, and the moisture really picking up on the track. Look at all that moisture now. The wiper's on full to deal with the rooster tailing coming off that competitor that's up front. And this is the kind of racing that I have done here in the wet, where there's a lot of water on the racetrack. And this part of the racetrack is a little puddly, so you get a little bit, the car gets kicked around a little bit as it's trying to hydroplane a little bit.
Looks like Jerry Inger's car is back in the pits, that Ergo Lab Miata.
All right, thanks for that.
157, we're also getting a report that they're being pushed down pit row. That's the band of BMW 325i. an 89, so that's an E36 model. I know these things now.
No, it's an E30.
What?
1990 was the E36. Late 89.
Yeah, I think he's actually right. I think he's right about that.
I used to own one. We try not to talk about. We try not to talk about that.
That is an E30. My cheat sheet's backlit, so yes, that is an E30. I stand corrected. I made a mistake.
The new guy.
Plus, I'm standing here looking at it too.
The
So.
FNGs.
It's a little easier.
That's the only reason he got that right then.
Not because he owned one, because he's standing there looking at it, right?
Right.
Somebody wrote E30 on the back of it.
No, I was living in England at the time when the E36 first came out, and it blew everybody away, and it was such a great car. And blah, 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 blah.
It is the gold standard of Champ Car.
Yeah, E35,
I thought
E36,
it was
whatever it takes.
The SE300 is now.
I don't know. Did we change?
Don't they win every race they enter?
No, they don't win every year. They win a lot of races.
Oh, gosh darn it. There goes one of my cameras. We still have a lot of snow falling. It's not as fluffy as it was earlier, but it is blowing sideways. And the sky has lightened up a little bit. The last 15 minutes or so have just been black down here. The sky has been black. And there was snow flying sideways. A lot bigger snowflakes than earlier. Well, than falling now. And it was collecting on my wipers.
That's a rental.
Yeah.
Back warming up.
Low
So
farm
the
racing.
603s, we've got a report that he's limping down the track. That's the Cosi Racing car. We've talked about them in the past.
Oh, and here's the 318. Let me go find out what's up.
So 318 now down in 12th as they're no longer turning laps. That's the TRM Motorsports Racing Team, which is some employees from the Tire Rack company. JSK still leading by a couple laps over Spartan Racing right now.
I just got it.
Yeah, the front left of the car is not where it should be.
Missing?
All right, Bill. Thanks for that.
I just got my last set of tires for the Santa Fe from Tire Rack. It was a very pleasurable experience.
Yeah, I used to get the Hoosiers for my vintage car back when I owned a race car from them. They'd heat cycle them for me and everything. Great company to do business with.
Yeah, it's the first time I've ever tried Tire Rack.
Go to the Note 8. Got a camera on it.
I'll think about it. Mr. Bossy Pants over there.
I have to keep my my sentences short and to the point because the snow gets in my mouth.
Ouch.
I don't even know what to say to that.
So obviously a pretty nasty hit there.
Yep, they've rearranged some body panels there.
Lots of damage there.
Man, running in second place.
Yeah.
Don't know what happened, but
Must have made contact with something somewhere.
so now report to the 603. That's that Cosi Racing car is dead on pit road. I don't want people to write in again.
Doc, you can call it pit row. It's okay. You go ahead and call it what you like.
Okay, thank you, Paulie. So this job does come with some perks, huh? I just call them like I see them. I mean, what's the bloody difference?
Doc, it's okay. We're fine, really. We've moved on. We're good.
I have a hard time letting go, Paulie.
That's great.
So Mike Smith is on our Facebook, and he says he was out on track during the first stint, and it's very tricky in the rain and the snow.
Yeah, he was in Crank Yanker's car.
Okay.
Yeah, he's raced with them before, and he's turned a lot of laps out here, so I'm sure he's been out here in the rain too. But, yeah, having the snow down, just got to be like a skating rink out there.
Like an ice skating rink.
Yeah, not much fun, but you know what? They're working their way through it. And Ludicrous Speed's been holding up well. Now they're up to 5th spot.
Yeah. Just turning steady laps.
351s. That last time through. JSK a 333 who's leading. Heading around the carousel here on the outside. Which is, you know, you want to drive offline, but then, boy, if you lose it just a little bit, you're off in the grass, and then you're going to be sliding till November.
Yeah, I don't see too many cars faster than JSK. They turned a 333. The dirt guys had a 332. But yeah, that's about the fastest lap out there. I don't suspect we'll see TR Motorsports back out today.
Yeah, that was a nasty hit. They really bent up the front of that car.
Yeah. And, you know, even trying to fix cars in this cold weather is just miserable.
That is true.
Your hands just don't want to move like you tell them to.
Yeah, they're just frozen.
Yeah, busted knuckles always draw blood.
Yeah, your hands get cut up a lot more easily working in these conditions.
Yeah. Yeah, you knock them against anything, chances are it's going to bleed.
That sounds painful.
Pretty stout suspension design in the E36 up in that area, but yeah, that's a pretty good lick that they took.
Yeah, I mean, you notice even the right side of the bumper was way off of the body from where the left was punched in.
Oh, Andrew Anderson asking about from New Zealand. And
Wow.
wondered what happened to Looney Tunes about 15 laps in. What happened? They came into the paddock area, thought they found a broken rocker arm. Looks like it dropped a valve and did some engine damage. So they've decided to change the engine out. So what's it been, Doc? About an hour and a half ago? We saw them with the engine out? It's been a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're just buttoning it up now. So they're putting the radiator back in, and they're starting to get it bled out and stuff. So I'm sitting right next to them here in the paddock.
Turn your mic down just a little bit there, Bill, but thanks for that. So there you go, Andrew. They're going to get back out there. Hopefully they'll have a better day of it tomorrow. That's one of the nice things about having these 8-hour races, these split-up races where it's really 2 races in one weekend. If you have a bad day on Saturday, you got a good chance of getting it put back together for the next day, just like Crank Yankers. And Premium Dudes is another big question mark. We got to find out what happened to them. But yeah, that's the story right now, Andrew, with Looney Tunes. Of course, they won out here. It's been a couple years now, but so hopefully they'll be able to get back out there. And tomorrow's not supposed to be rainy at all, so should be a little bit more to their liking anyway tomorrow. We also got a report that the Pontiac of the what do they call themselves?
American Express.
American Express. Thank you. Had a blown head gasket, so that has to be serviced. Unfortunate for those guys. They were out there running for a while too.
Yeah, they were up near the front of the field until it started raining.
Oh, we got Low Farm Racing pulling off the track. I don't know if they just slid off the track or what the story is. It looks like they're at the Speedville Bridge. I think that stream is messed up, so that's why it's looking like that. We were looking at something that was done earlier.
Ah.
Yeah.
Watch him catch that car already.
Yep, this is really a tricky spot to be passing in these conditions, too, down the inside. The cars gets light up here. Just taking it easy, coming up the hill down to 14. Tires make such a big difference in these conditions with how much grip you're going to have. There's a layout of the racetrack here in Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin. About 3.5 miles in distance. 14 turns. We run the full course, of course. There's a horse. It's a horse, of course. Along with the kink up here, as you can see.
I might be the only one that got that reference, Polly.
Oh, really?
Mr. Adder.
Oh, very good, Tiffany.
Okay.
You're wise beyond your years.
I was going to say, how did she know about that? She's too young for that.
So young, my man.
So if you're just tuning in to watch us, this is the Champ Car Endurance Series. You're watching Champ Car Live. The Champ Car Endurance Series is presented by RVA Graphics and Wraps. And the race, it's the Frozen Rotors Winter Classic. It's an 8-hour race today and tomorrow at Road America. Paul Veltum, Bill Strong, Doc Waldrop, and Tiffany Alexander with you calling the race all weekend long. Getting a report that the sun's come out now. What they really need is the sun. They need to get rid of all this moisture. But some of the teams might be really benefiting from this weather. JSK Racing still holding on to that lead. Just turned a 333 to Spartan's 340. He was in P2 right now.
JSK seems to be fast regardless of rain or dry. I mean, they've commanded this race for the most part.
Yeah, that car's working really well. Cone Crusher's back in P11 right now. Premium Dudes still in 8th, still in a good spot for them. And TRM Motorsports has tumbled down to 24th. We were watching them earlier. Contact on the left front has put them out for now. They're looking at that car. Asteria Motorsports in 30th spot. Utter Chaos in 36th. Motor Crap, team that was up earlier in the top 3, top 10, in 37th spot right now. PBR Light in 40th. I don't think I recognize that team name. Premaster in 45th. Gorilla Sticker in 46th. So some of the teams that are not circulating, No Brakes Racing, Drinking Team with a Racing Problem, Gangsters of Love, Black Pearl Racing, American Express, Crash Management, Crank Yankers, Dead Pedal, British American Racing, Team Milan, James Bondo had contact with the wall in that car. Just Don't Suck Racing, Ergo Lab, Looney Tunes, and Golden Lake Racing. Those amongst others not turning laps right now at the race.
Maybe we should adapt that name to our broadcast. Just Don't Suck Broadcast. I like it.
Just Don't Suck.
Just Don't Suck.
Well, that would be a problem.
False advertising, if nothing else.
Yeah. Although it is encouraging. Yeah,
it's not realistic.
It's not realistic. Thank you. That was a great finish to that sentence. That was perfect. Although encouraging, it's not realistic, is it? No, I guess not. Okay.
Optimistic.
We can't have that.
That's why we have you here, Tiffany, to keep us, keep us optimistic.
Glass half full.
Exactly. See, from this shot, it all looks peaches and cream. It looks fine. And then you go inside the car, it's like, what happened out there? It looks terrible.
It's amazing how much difference. There's that heavy breathing again.
Sorry. I have to eat this microphone.
Yeah. I get it. I get it. So that's the status. That's where things are right now as we reach the top of the hour. A quick break for station ID, and we'll be right back. Stay with us. Frozen rotors from Diversified Cryogenics deliver increased performance and a higher level of safety while significantly reducing braking system costs. Our proprietary 60-hour cryogenic process permanently and dramatically improves the usage life and stability of brake rotors, creating a distinct advantage in tensile strength, abrasive wear resistance, and rotor longevity. Frozen rotors, it's the cost-saving solution for better braking performance. Yes, 90 laps turned so far here at the Frozen Rotors Winter Classic, so-called Winter Classic. Heavy snow did start to fall around 12:45 today. It's been on again, off again since then. And the latest news around 2:30, we had the TRM Motorsports car contact with the wall and did quite a bit of damage to that car. They're behind the wall right now working on that car. And so the team that was up in the front actually led the race for a short period of time, was going back and forth essentially with JSK, is now out of the race for right now. JSK currently leading the race. Of course, if you want to follow along with your favorite teams, you can go to you can go to racehero.io. racehero.io on the web, or you can pick up the Race Hero app in the App Store or the Google Play Store, so you can watch it on your mobile device.
Mobile.
And with that, so coming up next for the Champ Car Endurance Series, we're off to Atlanta Motorsports Park next weekend for an 8 and a 7. And then it's off to Auto Club Speedway in Fontana, California for the Willwood Grand Prix, November 17th and 18th. That'll be on the Sports Car Roval. To find out more information and get signed up, go to www.ChampCar.org. And there are spots still available for both of those races, so we hope you'll come out and join us. If not to race with us, you can always come out and work the race with us. So hope you'll do that. On board with Ludicrous Speed in their Toyota MR2, currently in 6th spot. Some of the action we've seen today: crank yankers into the wall, car behind the wall now. They're working to repair that car along with TRM Motorsports, same situation. Motorcrap Racing also found themselves off in the gravel, had to be pulled out. Looney Tunes in with engine damage, along with American Express in with engine damage. See cars struggling for grip. There's a car way off to the right up against the tire wall as the MR2 works its way up through the gears. I've seen guys actually do a pirouette right there coming out of the last corner. Just did a nice slow spin in the wet. This is pretty tricky down here. Turn 5, it's a downhill braking zone. And just about here, it kicks to the left. So when you're on the outside, you're lined up for the corner to get the most out of it. It turns in the braking zone. It's really unusual. And it tends to put you into the rumble strips. So you almost have to line up and sort of turn the car while you're braking. And it's obviously very heavy braking. You're trying to brake at the 2 panel. I mean, it's very aggressive braking. And we kind of just
like
going.
A tricky spot.
Yeah, it's tricky, and it's important to get a good run up the hill. And hurry downs for me is probably one of the most enjoyable parts of the track. This section here, 8, the bottom of the hill. It's very fast, and if you get it right, you can go flat. Well, you could in the cars that I was driving. Maybe some of the faster cars can't, but I was able to do it. But you got to eat curb, and the placement, everything's blind, and you got to get it just right. It's fun. Through the carousel, this one's really hard on that left front corner tire, and you even see it in iRacing. You gotta cycle it to keep it from overheating that left front tire. Very slow is this corner, and it's difficult to get a good strong exit. If you dip a tire, there was like a big pothole right there. Looks like they put some asphalt down to try and fill that in. And this is really beautiful, especially as you get into the April, May, where there's a lot of trees. There are a lot of leaves on the trees. This is very nice down through here. And as I said earlier, it's great for drafting for some reason. Very fast. The road's kind of turning as you head down here. There's a lot of room here through Canada Corner. You can be pretty aggressive. Great place to pass. This is a lot of fun too. It's a blind left-hander, sets you up for this blind left-hander, but you got to use all the racetrack, and you can run through there flat out. Very challenging. It tests your nerves. Got a little loose there at the exit because you do use a little bit of the curb there at the exit. And turn 14, very aggressive rumble strips on the left, which tends to upset the car. You'll see a lot of pro drivers using those rumble strips, but in cars that we drive, you really don't want to be there. It's hard on the drive line. It sends a lot of shock load into the drive line. It's how you break stuff.
I don't need those to break stuff.
No. You do it anyway, huh? You're talented.
Yeah. Yes.
Turn 1, similar downhill braking zone, very fast. Again, offline to the left, very aggressive rumble strips. It gets more aggressive as you go out, the further out you get into it. Again, you'll see a lot of pros using them. Here's another good braking zone here. This is technically turn 3. Let's see if that car is still off at driver's right. We saw a little bit earlier. No, I don't see. It looks like it's cleared. This is a good spot to check your gauges. Very long run. There's a flag tower just to the left there. That's actually a turn.
Must be a lot of cut-throughs there at the track, Paulie.
There's a cut-through right up here where you can half the track for the truck series. Yeah, they go right through straight here.
Well, I was just referring to the safety vehicles that are towing cars and stuff. You don't see them on track very long.
There's a really cool path that you can drive around the infield. It takes you through several areas of the track. So you
pit out, cameras live.
Thanks, Bill. I'm watching the feed too, by the way. You can message me.
Yeah, I can. Sorry.
Oh, okay. So I guess you can't. So yeah, that's that Speedville Bridge. You can go over that, and that takes you down into another part of the infield. I'm not sure what all the ins and outs are. They've added to it. It's more. There's more to it now than there used to be when I was a kid. And I've been up and down there here in the last few years, but I haven't explored all of the paddock area.
Road Atlanta had some interesting news this week.
Okay.
Yeah, it looks like Michelin is going to sponsor the track, and they're building a whole new huge timing and scoring tower in place of the old one.
Really?
Yeah, so I don't know what we're going to see. It looks like I'm going to lose my spot that I was so happy with doing the broadcast last February, because that whole area is going to be raised. So I would imagine with that construction, we'll probably use the new pit lane that's on the inside of the course.
I'm going to miss that tower, man. You know it.
I know.
That
my
place
spot was great.
Cool.
But the rendering of the new tower is spectacular.
Well, I'm sure it is.
It's like 4 stories tall. It's the Road Atlanta Tower is not very big. Maybe 20 people can sit side by side looking out the windows. This new one, it looks like about 200 people.
I thought it was pretty big. It has kind of an odd cut to it. I thought it was interesting.
Well, it's a weird shaped building.
Yeah, I'm gonna miss that. Well, there's always video.
The new one's gonna be spectacular, though.
Yeah, I'm sure it will.
From the renderings.
I'm sure it'll be awesome.
Michelin, of course, has a huge plant relatively close to Road Atlanta up in South Carolina, right near the BMW factory. So
looks like that's going to be an awesome sponsor for them.
It's kind of neat because Road Atlanta really hasn't done very much infrastructure in the last,
ever.
That tower was there when I was covering IMSA back in the early 80s.
It has that kind of 1970s look to it.
Oh yeah, it's like wood shingle kind of looking.
So Ergolab heading back out of the pits. You can see a little bit of a breeze blowing about from the pits.
Sounds like a vortex.
The wind noise alone, yeah.
It's pretty crazy what these guys are dealing with right now. Heading down into turn 5 again.
The new paddock club that they have at Road Atlanta is looking pretty nice too. It's their private driver club there. It's looking pretty sharp. We were over there the other day, me and Bubba from E-Racing. We were trying to find some parts to fix this rear wing of mine at Race Parts.
One of our YouTube viewers, regular viewer that often hands me a lot of great information, saying he's at the track. He said, it's so cold, I'm wearing 6 layers of Nomex on top, 3 Nomex shirts under my 3-layer suit.
Dang.
Those pits are nasty. It's that wind, Doc.
Well, there's nothing to block it.
There's nothing to block. You're on top of the hill, man.
Runs right through you.
And you're on a hill.
That's the problem. You're up high. And it's just, man.
Unpleasant.
It drones on. I mean, it just
that
keeps
used to be the
at
joke of why I moved to Georgia from Dallas-Fort Worth, because there was nothing between Dallas and Canada but a barbed wire fence in Kansas. I mean, the winters are just ridiculously cold because of the wind.
Sure.
And the summers, of course, are brutally hot. It's 95 degrees at 7 a.m. It's like, that's just silly.
Yeah, this is Low Farm Racing here. On board with them as they head up to the Corvette Bridge. Turn 6, which is the setup for Hurry Downs. This right-hander.
I'm putting a camera in the 43B car.
Okay. Thanks, Bill. Just tell me which one.
I don't even have that team on my list.
CCL1 on YouTube.
Okay, thanks. To the Speedville Bridge. And a lot of guys will just upshift to 4th right there, and then that way they don't have to shift in the sweeper.
.43 is the LDR racing team.
Oh, okay. Because we've had some people chime in, I think, on our Facebook feed.
Yeah, they're not on the list that I created when I got that list.
Low Farm Racing, another one of the BMWs. It's a 99 E46 328i. Nice crisp rev matching downshift. You can see the sun now beginning to shine on the racetrack as he heads through that famous Canada Corner, as it's called. It's on the lowest part of the racetrack. That's the part of the racetrack where we often have radio issues down there. Just so low, and you're so high up on the hill on the other side with all the trees and everything. Just another view of pit out there. These are the guys that know what to wear to deal with these colder temperatures.
Cold out there standing on pit row. I froze my patooties off at Barber.
I've got one of those Carhartt jumper things that I use for plowing snow and stuff around here, and that thing's tops.
So I'm down here by the 43 car watching them fuel. Their drivers are having to swap microphones out for the helmets. Looks like they only have one setup and one Hans. So these guys are on the low budget side, which is cool. You know, you don't have to come racing and have one of everything, and two or three of everything. You can do it on one. And they're not done fueling yet, so they're not going to lose that much time in pit lane. So they got the guy's microphone all installed, and they're getting ready to. They made a home-built seat insert for one of the drivers that almost blew down the road. The driver coming out looks pretty exhausted. Whoa. So they hop in, the helper for the driver hops in the passenger side. I temporarily put the camera there and kind of knocked it, but it's all right. Should be okay.
Well, you don't have to have multiple things.
But it helps.
But it helps.
Yeah, thanks, Doc.
I was worried you weren't going to pitch in there, so.
Yeah, you did a great job with that.
I try.
You're back into the swing of things, man.
I try, Paul.
You really are.
In fact,
I mean,
a lot of people say I'm
quick.
very trying.
So what car is the Stinky Rat Trap Racing? What vehicle is that? It's not listed on either of the
let me look it up.
Race control things.
It's a 91 Audi 200 TQ, according to my list.
Where'd you find that at?
Well, I don't use the same list that you do. I grab it direct. So if it's been updated, I get the most current version.
Oh, well.
Well, both get better information than me then.
I'm just going to quit doing my list then.
Okay, this is 43's first race ever. They're loving it. They're so stoked right now. They're not really excited when I said I was putting a camera in their car.
Cool.
Later on, they will learn to hate you, Bill.
Yeah, they don't know any better, so we're going to play up on this.
Milk it for all it's worth.
Excuse me. He's not listening to us.
I don't blame him.
I was just looking at it.
Would you listen to us, Doc?
I would. That's how I got into this mess.
That's right, you did.
I know, right?
I'm just a joiner, Paulie.
I was just checking on this feedback concern that Gregory had. I don't hear any feedback, so
I hear a little that sometimes.
That's just that's noise coming off of the Bill's camera. That's all that is.
That's what I thought.
It's just some audio noise coming off. Yeah.
That's the aliens. They're trying to make contact.
So looking at things right now, it's JSK up front. They've lapped Spartan again. They're up 3 laps now over Spartan Racing. Landshark in 3rd, Stinky Rat Trap in 4th. Third Gear Poles in 5th. Ludicrous Racing is in 6th. Premium Dudes now up to 7th, still trying to work their way up the field. TCB Motorsports in 8th. Two Brothers in 9th. And Dirty Guys in 10th.
Did we ever hear what happened to Premium Dudes?
No. Something happened in that last round of pit stop, though, that set them back a little ways. There's the 43 heading back out. And I see...
so, we should have another round of pit stops coming up.
I was just about to say that.
Yeah, and I see one of the workers out there holding a bottle of water. That's a great idea. When you're this cold, you can forget that you need to stay hydrated.
Right.
You're not thinking about
that. Yeah, well,
that.
I mean, that wind will take it out of you, too.
Right.
And absolutely, especially if you've been in the race car at all, you're going to lose a lot of sweat, a lot of perspiration. You're going to lose a lot of moisture from your body. I got myself a little sick tummy this year from that when I was at Daytona.
Yeah, you weren't looking so good there, Paulie.
A little green.
I had to go to the hospital.
No, he was a lot of green.
The day after I talked to you, Tiffany, that I was feeling a little odd that night, and the next morning I got a sick tummy. So Kent took me to the hospital.
He hasn't learned to take care of himself like I do myself.
I didn't have anybody take care of me.
Doc treats his body like a temple.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Makes me think of a Jimmy Buffett song.
The Temple of Doom sounds comes to mind.
I remember the Jimmy Buffett treat.
A little over 2 hours remaining in this 8-hour race. JSK is leading the race right now.
Plenty of challenges on and off the course.
So we got a message that the number 203 is in the pit lane after a double spin in turn 14. So it sounds like they spun in 14, which is the last corner that takes you onto the front straight. That's what we're going in now. Or no. Is that where we're heading now? Yeah.
So I just got to reply
then
back.
Then they did it again the following lap. But go ahead, Doc.
I got a reply back from Nathan that they got from Premium Dudes that they got another questionable pass under yellow.
Oh. Questionable. Okay.
So now if they have video evidence, they can take it to timing and scoring and get that time back. I don't know. Sometimes that's harder to do than it sounds.
Well, the thing is, the track also has video as well.
Right.
They have cameras all over the track, so.
That's a good point, yeah.
So is that the last pit stop we're having today? I can't remember.
Yes,
Yeah,
this should be the last stops.
Yep.
Well, then they'll have to stop at 4:30, right?
Well, the race ends at 4:30.
Is it 4:30?
Yeah.
5?
No, it's going to be
Oh, it
4:30.
started at 8:30. I got my math wrong. Never mind.
I think it's, let me check here just to verify. 4:30.
Yeah, we have a lot of teams getting ready to pit here. Everybody's got their helmets on, their suits on. Guys are waving at cars as they're going by. So it looks like we're going to have a mass hysteria on pit lane. I don't have my camera with me, guys, so it'll be audio only.
Well, you've got some time.
Every other
you can go grab it if you want to.
It gets very, very busy on pit road.
And if you can turn your microphone down about
like
a little ways, that'd be good. Time. Looks like I'm not sure what this is. these shifters
well,
up on
certainly want to time it right. You don't want to come in too early because then you'd have to stop at the near the end of the race and change drivers if you go over the stint limit. And timing and scoring does watch that very carefully, especially for the leading cars when it gets down near the end of the race. And with a long lap here, you get it wrong.
Yeah, it's going to be very telling.
Yeah, it's going to be very costly if you get that wrong.
So it's cleared up down here on pit lane. We've got blue skies with spotty clouds above us. Of course, all around us is really dark clouds. But right above the beautiful, pristine Road America, it is blue skies and extremely cold winds.
Was that LDR? Yeah.
Test, test, test. Good.
Yeah, that's good. Thanks, Bill. Thank you for that. So this is LDR Racing. So yes, indeed, checkers at 4:30. Team Milan came out here. We interviewed them Wednesday. We talked to Jeff Christensen, team owner. They were hoping for good things this weekend. They brought that new 2.4-liter engine out here. But behind the wall early with problems with that car.
Looks like a nice clean build in that car.
I'm trying to figure out what it is.
It's a Ford Fiesta or something like that.
Oh.
Or no, not Ford Fiesta. It's a Honda Civic, tiny Civic, the hatchback.
Okay.
All right. So
there's a big difference between a Ford and a Honda. I'm sorry out there on internet land.
All right, Stinky Rat Trap. We show them on pit row.
We got the Snap-on Firebird just rolled in.
We got 427, Two Brothers Racing, and that Mercedes is on pit.
The 223 just pulled in. We got the Mercedes coming down here, the 427. They're getting ready to do a fuel stop. A lot of cars down here on pit lane. The 200 just rolled in. That little VW has got a whole bunch of leaves in the intake of that car. The 15 is now leaving pit lane. That's got multiple throttle bodies with no filters on them sticking out of the hood. I don't know if that's a good thing to have here with all these leaves flying all over. Unless you're a competitor.
Like they don't even have any foam?
Nothing, just open throttles with the bell mouse.
Huh. 104 is on pit row.
Yeah, and you can see the track.
The 811 just pulls in as the team goes over the wall. Actually, they're in a split in the wall, so they don't really go over the wall. They're getting out. They're getting their driver out. They're getting ready to pull the fuel cap off. In goes the fuel can.
That's TCB.
Almost, but the rubber hose comes off the fuel can, and it delays them pouring fuel in. They got lucky there. Problem is that it's so cold, all this rubber actually gets kind of hard, and it doesn't want to move around like it did when it was warm.
Yeah, we had one snap off at AMP last year, so now we keep, when it's cold, we keep them in the pits with us and just throw a cup over the top of the fuel cans.
Okay.
It snapped on me, and I was like, oh, what the?
Huh.
the Snap-on Firebird here, the 223. They were putting brand new wiper blades on the car. These guys are doing a full service on this car here. Strapping their driver in, they're almost done.
.177 is now on pit row. That's the third gear pulls car running in 5th place. Yet to see our first 2 place cars come in, JSK and Spartan Racing. But we should see them shortly, as well as Ludicrous Speed. And Premium Dudes probably shouldn't have to stop. I don't know if they took fuel that last stop.
Right.
When they were brought in for a questionable passing under yellow, according to Nathan.
All right, so as we reach the bottom of the hour here, it's time for our break, so we'll step away for a few minutes, and we'll be right back for more racing coverage of the racing action. So back in a few minutes. Stay with us, everybody. Safety while significantly reducing braking system costs. Our proprietary 60-hour cryogenic process permanently and dramatically improves the usage life and stability of brake rotors, creating a distinct advantage in tensile strength, abrasive wear resistance, and rotor longevity. Frozen Rotors. It's the cost-saving solution for better braking performance.
Lifeline is a fire suppression company. We focus on innovation and leading the market in the fire safety category. What's important to us is that we keep drivers safe, that we keep teams safe, that we spare equipment. It's motorsport, it's a dangerous environment. We certainly have gas and oil and combustibles that we're carrying along in a very dynamic environment. Fire is not uncommon. It's our job to put out the fire, make sure our drivers walk away safe, and make sure we can keep doing this. Our market-leading product is a Novec based. It's a 3M Novec fire suppressant. And what really makes us special is the delivery system. This new 8865 3620 system puts that Novec, 2 separate systems, puts Novec in the cockpit, Novec in the engine bay in less than a second, immediately engulfing the area with a fire extinguishant. So by flooding the area that quickly, we're able to actually put out fires, save equipment, save our drivers. Obviously, that's the most important part. As we continue to develop, as we continue to push and innovate, we're really working hand in hand with both motorsports and military. So what does a Wayne Taylor race car that's going around the track at 180 miles an hour have to do with a personnel carrier? Very harsh environments, as we're at Sebring and this car is banging around, and the stresses on this fire system, again, to make this piece live, so that it's available, so that it will put out a fire when it's called upon.
Champ Car Endurance Series is sponsored by RVA Graphics and Wraps, a custom graphics shop that specializes in the design and production of the best quality made-to-order vehicle graphics. And by Lifeline. Lifeline uses the latest technology in motorsport fire suppression and extinguishing, and is the leader of in-car fire safety systems using Novec and Triple F foam. and Willwood Disc Brakes. Willwood Engineering is a global leader and manufacturer of high-performance, original equipment disc brake solutions. And Cool Shirt Systems. Cool Shirt's personal cooling systems, vests, and garments offer comfort, safety, mobility, and durability when performance matters. And MAXXIS Tires. MAXXIS Tires International is committed to delivering high-performance, affordable tires to the world. And Frozen Rotors. Premium cryogenically treated brake pads and brake rotors by Diversified Cryogenics. And OMP Sport, one of the world's leading manufacturers of safety equipment and tuning accessories. And by Racing Radios, the leader in racing communications worldwide, providing quality and affordable communication systems for racers and fans alike. And DiscoveryParts.com, offering the best in auto safety racing apparel. 103 laps completed here, Road America. It's the Frozen Rotors Winter Classic, the Champ Car Endurance Series, presented by RVA Graphics and Wraps. So just to bring you up to speed with where things are right now, we started out the day with a lot of inclement weather. That seems to have lifted for the most part. The sun is out, the track beginning to dry. Most recently, what we've been seeing is Premium Dudes, a team that's been up in that top 10 mix throughout the day, have pitted now twice for infractions. They were first brought in for passing under yellow, and then they were black flagged again for what's called a questionable pass. So they were brought in and talked about that. Ergolab has been in and out of the pits, scheduled. Doc, if you can pull back on your mic a little there for me.
Yeah.
Thanks. And TRM, a team that was up high in the standings earlier today, has had contact with the wall and done some damage to that car. So that's getting you up to speed with where things are right now.
Hey, I was just talking to the Blue Shells guys, the guys of the Mark 1 MR2. The driver gets out of the car and he's like really excited. He says, "This was awesome. This was so fun." They disconnected the rear sway bar, which makes that MR2 handle like a go-kart out there, even in the really bad weather. He says it was so fun. He goes, just back off a little bit and you'll watch everybody just take themselves out of the race by going off the track. And they just kept going around while everybody else was just going on. He says almost every lap, a car would go off left, a car would go off right, another car off left, another car off right, and they just kept passing people left and right. So that's how you do it in this kind of weather, guys.
Just stick to it, drive your own race.
There's pit out signaling, "Hey, you need to come get these timers."
Yeah, those timers are put on at pit in and then picked up at pit out. Someone has to carry them back.
That's Martin. I'll head down there and get them from him, since I'm kind of down this way.
That's a long pit road, too, to ferry those timers.
Yep. Ludicrous Speed back on board with them in their 91 MR2.
It's starting to snow again, guys.
You know, one of the cars we haven't seen hit pit road yet is the our leader, JSK Racing.
Looks like Spartan Racing is dipped into the pits.
There's some really, really good. I can't hear Paul. It sounds like he's talking, but I can't tell.
Yeah, we're kind of both talking.
Yeah, because all I hear is a car. I don't hear you.
Oh, okay. Let me turn that down a little bit.
All right, we've got JSK on pit road now.
Yeah, you're Doc loud and clear.
Cool.
Hear me okay?
Yes, ma'am. And Tiffany.
Yeah, it's a bit of a balancing act sometimes, this whole juggling audio thing.
This clown show? What?
Yeah. It's like a 5-ring circus or something. I don't know.
Right.
Well, how many of us are there?
It is a circus.
That's how many circuses we got.
Yeah, when I started helping you guys out, Andrea kind of had a little mild heart-to-heart and was like, do you know what you're getting into? I'm like, probably not, but I think.
But I'm jumping in anyway.
Right. Kind of like I do everything else.
Yep, Tiffany's a joiner.
It's like, oh, that looks fun. Let's do that.
It'll be fun, they said.
Yeah.
So is Wisconsin like one of those places that it's snowing today, but tomorrow will be 70 and really nice outside?
And that's Alabama.
Yeah, tomorrow's forecast is a high of 48, a low of 32, and a 10% chance of rain.
That's a regular warm spell, Bill.
A high of 48. You might have to start drinking.
Yeah, like that's going to happen. He'll stay away from those NAs today.
Oh, JSK hits the pits. So there you have it.
Yeah, they came in about 2 minutes ago.
Okay, all right. I'm a little behind the times there, but I just noticed
I personally, they've got a 4-lap lead. I wouldn't cut it that close.
Right.
But, they've got a better handle on it than we do, certainly.
There's a clear, dry line coming down the front straightaway here. It's like the wind has really dried up stuff.
I bet there's nothing to stop that wind out at Road America.
Yes, sir. Perfect. That's good. Now turn it all the way down and we're good. I'm kidding. We are the ultimate of professionalism here at ChampCar.live. So some folks have made some comments up and down pit lane about how you guys probably have the air conditioning on at your house right now, just so you can experience the kind of the same coldness that we are experiencing.
No, I do have a fan on because
Negative.
I have so many computers and screens and everything running. Actually, it's always hot in here, so I have to have fans running to keep me cool. I basically sweat the entire broadcast, so I have to have fans running to bring air into the room.
Have I ever told you guys how much I hate you guys?
Well, usually, Bill, you're complaining about the heat, so we're right together. It just so happens today it's chilly.
The 917 just pulled into pit lane. Driver change and fuel, it looks like. Boy, it's sleeting again, and it's just pounding on the face. It's actually stinging.
Yeah, there you can see it coming down, and the wind carrying it too. Again.
Okay, yeah, this is the worst. This is like little hail balls just pounding off your face. This sucks. Bring back the snow, please.
There's a car in 13th place we haven't talked much about. They're regular competitors with us, and that's the Tuna No Crust car.
I met those guys at VIR in blonde, red, dumbly enough. I was like, what does that mean? Tuna no crust. And he was like in the movie when, oh gosh, now his name's going to run out of my head. The guy from Fast and the Furious, he ordered his sandwich with like tuna, no crust. And then I was like, I had that duh moment. Well, they were really nice guys.
That's a joke that I've kept up with Jeff Christensen, Tiffany, is that Barber, I'm going to deliver him a plate of proper Southern sandwiches.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Like cucumber sandwiches with no crust.
No crust.
Little old lady tea sandwiches.
I was thinking you meant barbecue and like hamburgers made out of real meat.
No, this is a joke. It's a pretty lame one, evidently, but I'm sticking to it.
He's not going to enjoy those quite as much.
Yeah, Adam watching over on our YouTube channel. Looks like he's putting a car together while he's watching in Winona, Minnesota, I believe he's telling me there. So it's a good way to spend the Saturday.
Commenting it's 92 degrees in Southwest Florida right now.
Yeah. So what's the problem?
He also made a comment, 1 wide leaving pit lane with a question mark. Yeah, it's well, you've got to drop off your timer. So occasionally they'll run 2 lanes wide there, but that's for cars that have some time left on their timers. You kind of want to hit pit out, right at the 5-minute mark if you've taken fuel. I like to get there about, maybe 10 seconds early, just to give yourself a chance to, you just got done with a frenetic pit stop, changing drivers and stuff. You get to pit out with about 10 seconds, 15 seconds left, and that's like, all right, you kind of refocus on what you're going to do next.
Right, that's about perfect. Yeah, 10 seconds. Don't come down to the pit out with 30, 45 seconds left.
Yeah, that just blocks it up for everybody.
Yeah, that's just rude.
Yeah, I mean, you can read the timer on top of your car and see what it's at.
Yeah.
Could that be a piece of strategy that you use?
What, to come down and block somebody?
Well, usually what they do is if they see that you have a lot of time, they'll have you pull aside.
Right.
Yeah.
But if it's too narrow, I don't know. That just gets you beat up in the pits later.
Yeah, exactly.
You're gonna get a thumping.
Create issues for them dealing with down there, and they don't like that.
Or at least on the forum.
No, it's the other guys behind you. Is like, dude, really?
Yeah.
Really?
How long have you been doing this?
Seriously.
Yeah, so we have a list of all the time it takes for us to get from the, we've done enough racing at most of these tracks. We kind of know how long it's going to take us to get from pit in to our pit, pretty much anywhere on pit lane to pit out. So under normal conditions. So we always plan for that. We try to get the guy up there with about 10 seconds to go, because by the time the pit out person picks up the timer, looks at it, you're right there. And then he says, go. So that's kind of how we time them all. I've seen guys along pit lane actually wait 5 minutes in their pit stall before they go out. It's not how you do it. It's 5 minutes in pit lane from beginning to end.
Right.
Cone Crusher still shown in the pits along with JSK, waiting for them to come back out and go back across the loop. And I say that just to qualify. They could have left the pits 3 minutes ago and still trying to get around to get to trip the line.
This last round is really shaking up things. Premium Dudes, which was running down in, 7th place, is now up to 3rd again.
Yeah.
Do we know if they did their pit stop when they got that penalty?
I would imagine they did.
I wonder if they got it back.
That would mean they would still have to
Yeah, they're going to have to stop again.
Which one is this?
Premium Dudes.
Yeah, they were brought in for a questionable pass, and I'm wondering if they were given their laps back for that infraction.
Maybe so.
So we really do need to talk to them and find out what the story was. And Nathan often watches the show, so we might hear from him later.
So what's a questionable pass? Did you make the pass or didn't you?
Nathan texted me. He's updated it. We're up to 3rd now, but we are off the normal strategy from our earlier driver change. Need to make our final stop. Yeah.
Yeah, they still have one to go, yeah.
Ludicrous Speed making their pit stop. That didn't go well. We'll get off of that feed.
On second thought, no.
That's wind. That's not me breathing, Polly.
Yeah. That's all right.
Just wanted to clarify that.
Let it be known.
Yep, still using those wipers. You can see it's coming out because, as indicated earlier, we've got some more precipitation coming down. Looks like we're not going to get away from it.
Yeah, it's a cross between rain and snow and sleet. It's kind of all over the place. The tire rack car, which I'm looking at right now, they have a pickup truck hooked up to the front of that car. I think they learned something from YouTube, how to pull out the front end of one of these things.
Yep.
Yeah.
Michael
Remember
Boyce
that?
straightened our frame out of damp.
Yeah. So looks like they've got that taken care of.
There's the 606 pulling out.
It looks a lot better, actually. Yep, 606. Are you looking at me? Do you see my designer weatherwear for Road America?
Oh, please don't, Paulie.
No, but if you got a camera, you could do a little walk for us.
We do. We got one here, pit out.
Yeah, but like one you can carry along with you.
Yeah, so I came back down here to get it. I didn't want to take one down, and it's charging too, so.
So what Nathan is telling me, he says the questionable PUI happens when you're side by side on a straight, entering a braking zone, and then you see the corner worker pull out the yellow flag.
Okay. They're trying to figure out if you passed under yellow. Yeah.
I've never been a corner worker, so I can't speak from experience, but a lot of these are judgment calls.
They have to be made pretty quickly.
Yeah, and I mean, so you've got and it's tough on the driver too.
Maybe it's because Nathan's so mean on the internet, on the forum.
Oh, he is not.
Towards MR2s.
Oh, well, everybody hates those, Bills.
Yes, I know.
I think it's more the drivers that they're upset with.
Nathan writes words, and words can hurt.
Oh, words can hurt. Is that it? Have you re-soaked your socks, Bill?
Have I what?
Have you re-soaked your socks in kerosene?
That would sting. No, I have some summer socks on, but luckily I bought some new Nikes that are like leather, and they're really nice. And they're keeping my feet kind of warm. Is Ludacris still working?
Yes, that's the only one that's working. Well, I shouldn't say that. We've got that.
And so should that Honda.
JSK Racing leading the race. Spartan in second. Premium Dudes in third. Landshark in fourth. Ludicrous Speed in the pits right now, but scored in P5. Stinky Rat Trap in sixth. Third Gear Pulls in seventh. TCB Motorsports in eighth. Cone Crushers in ninth. Two Brothers Racing in 10th. So we're reaching the top of the hour. Almost 4 o'clock. Eastern Standard Time. 3 o'clock local time. So about an hour and a half remain in this race.
Not long to go.
Now time is winding away, and it looks like it's just going to be a race of whose car handles well in these slippery conditions. The cars
is it all that slick still out there, Bill?
I think the cars that held back, hoping for the dry weather, I don't think it's going to pay off for them. There's just not enough time to really take advantage of that.
I'm sorry. Say again, please, because I was helping with it out.
How slippery does it look out there on the track?
It looks slippery. There's some dry sections on the front straightaway here. The left side of the track is dry. The right side is still wet, but it's cold and it's slippery down here at Pit Out.
Is it cold? You can turn your mic down.
It's the only words I can use right now with my frozen lips.
Well, Doc's got a couple different pairs of lips, apparently.
Yeah.
So,
I pick up a wrong set every once in a while.
we should. But Doc is the eye candy, so. And I keep messing up and saying that when Tiffany's on. I'm sorry, Tiffany.
No, he can be the eye candy. That's fine. Take the pressure off.
If I'm ever the eye candy of this broadcast, we are in far more trouble than we think we are.
Doc, I think we're more like eye lollipops.
Yeah.
Lollipops.
Yeah, like really round and stuff.
Yeah.
Well, Doc's not really round. He's pretty svelte for being 86 years old.
I'm in those incredible shrinking years.
Yeah, tell me about it.
I want to see Bill in his blueberry suit.
Blueberry?
Oh, yeah.
Do you have a new Halloween costume?
No. He's got this driver suit that he first wore on ChampCar.live. And he looks like a blueberry.
My husband's first driver suit was red with some like white stripes on it. He thought it was so cool until he saw a picture of himself, and I was like, "Yeah, you kind of look like Ronald McDonald." That thing hasn't come out of the closet since.
I really like my blue OMP suit. The problem is I kind of outgrew it, so I kind of need to get another one.
You only had that suit for like 6 months.
No, I've had it for almost 3 years.
No.
Okay. That's your story, huh?
I bought it in Sonoma. The first time I went to Sonoma, yeah. It was, yeah. So, I kind of need another one. Just a little, I need a little taken out of around the middle part, you know.
It's all that good, clean living you're doing, Bill.
Yes. I just walked like pit lane like 9 times, which is something like, I don't know, 42 miles. This place is humongo. And it's cold.
That's what somebody said earlier.
But he's burning 1 million calories.
At least it's not moist.
No more chunks of ice hitting you in the face.
All right, guys. So we're reaching the top of the hour. We got to take a break here. We'll reestablish our stream, and we'll be back here in just a couple of minutes. So we'll catch you on the other side.